You're on your pillow.
Get on your cozy pillow. Get on your pillow. Get
You're
on
on
your
the cozy pillow.
Get
You're
on
on your pillow.
Get on your cozy pillow. Get on your pillow.
You're
Whiskey.
on the
get
cozy
on
pillow.
Your pillow. It's
Pillow.
cozy.
That
That's a
cozy
banger.
pillow. That's a banger, my dude.
Dude, we wrote a fucking banger of a song.
In like no time. Just made it up. And now we're in season 8 of Suits.
Yeah. Should we?
Clap.
Yeah, I think so. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans.
This is Season 8, Episode 1, Right-Hand Man, and Season 8, Episode 2, Pecking Order.
Pecking order.
Order. Oh, buddy. Hey, why don't you go back and sit down?
On your comfy bed.
Yeah, come on. Come on back to your comfy bed. Whiskey.
Going back to your comfy
Whiskey,
bed.
right here. Whiskey. Whiskey. Come on, buddy. He's getting so old and confused. Whiskey, come on. Whiskey. Come on back to your comfy bed.
Go
Sit
on
down.
back to
It's
your
a
comfy bed.
Come on back to your
Comfy
comfy
bed.
Now sit on down. It's a
Comfy bed.
Comfy bed for my
Comfy
little dog
bed.
Whiskey. Comfy bed. Comfy bed. Okay. We did it.
We did it. Okay, I wrote a brief.
Let's hear it.
Whiskey wants to be a part of the podcast.
It's okay.
Mike is gone and I barely noticed. Harvey is struggling to find his feet without his number one sidekick. He oversteps and doesn't let Alex prove himself and tries to control the untamable Samantha Wheeler. It's wheels off as Zane takes control of the farm, Lewis takes control in the bedroom, and Katrina takes control by admitting she has much to learn in the ways of firing and efficiency. So far, I'm excited to see how this show evolves without Mike and Rachel holding things down. And I didn't mean like holding things down, like keeping things down bad. I just meant like holding it down, being the anchors of the show.
They definitely were some heavyweights.
Certainly some heavyweights.
Yeah, it's big to lose both of them.
Right. And you can feel it in a way, but I appreciate that I have enough built up with most of these characters, like Katrina and Alex. Like I know them. They were introduced early enough.
They didn't bring in an entirely new cast. They brought in
Samantha Wheeler,
Yes.
Katherine Heigl.
Right. That was the one that I was talking about a long time ago. That was a
That I
big
will
get.
know.
Mhm. It's like you'll know her.
Huge get.
Yeah, she's a huge get, and she's a real bitch.
Super bitch. She fits right in.
Yeah, I mean, like she is big time.
She's a ball buster.
Yeah, I think if anybody had any balls, she'd bust them.
Even if like, she just probably carries a little pin in her pocket to bust them open.
Bust them open. Ow.
Ouch.
Ouch. Okay, let's talk about before the credits.
Let's do that.
All right.
Okay, we open and everyone's kind of cleaning up after the wedding of Mike and Rachel. Noticeably missing Mike and Rachel. They have, I guess, boarded the plane to Seattle. And Harvey is talking with Daddy Zane at a table about whose name is going to go first. They're kind of offering it to each other as this cute, like, then you'll owe me one, then
Right.
you'll owe me one. But they both agree no matter what, Lit is going last.
Yeah. Then we see Alex. He's out jogging or maybe running. We're not sure because that's not something we do.
He's pretty fast for a jog.
I think a jog is a slow run or a fast walk. It's kind of like a trot to a
trot.
horse.
But he looked more like a gallop.
He might have been galloping, which is running.
Running, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He's
So
going
I
pretty
think we
fast.
would, I don't know, maybe our friend Josh could tell us if he was running.
running or jogging.
Or jogging, since he runs for
24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours straight. So Alex is jog running. He's jagrunning.
Jagrunning.
He's jagrunning through the city to the song, Here I Am, Are You Ready For Me? Here I am, do you like what you see?
Here I am. Do you ready for me?
I know.
Here I am. Do you like what you see?
I think it's interesting that these characters appear to be in really good shape, but only maybe could we count on our hands one time when we've really seen them working out. You know, like we've
Harvey
seen Harvey.
boxes.
He boxes. We've seen it a couple times. We've seen him run once, I think.
Yeah.
We've seen Lewis try to power walk. Mm-hmm. And then Donna like leaving a yoga studio.
Yeah, but it's not a huge part of their life, but it must be because they're physically fit.
Well, eating is not a huge part of their life either.
It's true. We don't know much about their diet. We don't know much about their exercise habits. Are we led to believe that they do this every day, that Alex always runs? Because that's kind of Harvey's there waiting for him.
Yeah, he's like, I know when you get back from your run.
Yeah, so I guess he does it every day.
Also, out of character for Harvey to be up that early.
Right.
Because we know Harvey doesn't do that.
No, well, he goes for a morning run.
Yeah, but for him to be like up and dressed and stuff.
Up and dressed and outside of Alex's apartment must be a big deal.
Must be a big deal. So,
And it
anyways,
is.
he's there at the apartment door, and Alex tells him about getting in with Lewis about the managing partner stuff, and then Harvey breaks the news that they are merging with Zane. And Alex wants his word that his name goes up next because he's not sure Lewis will be open to it.
Yeah, because I got into that little tiff.
Yeah, because he was promised this by Harvey, but now it's Zane's name that's going to go up. Obviously, it's got to be Zane's name because they're merging with his firm. So,
Right.
Yeah.
But then, so he needs to make sure Lewis will also back him, so it'll be majority.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Lewis on the phone with Sheila, and they're talking about cats, and like, you know, maybe they can give up a cat or they don't need to get a cat. And Katrina comes in, and she's clearly upset because she doesn't want Katrina to have to give up cats for Sheila.
Right.
But he says no, she's
She doesn't
open
want
to
Lewis
a
to give up cats for Sheila.
Yes, yeah. She doesn't want, yes. And Lewis is like, well, she's open to a short hair. But then Katrina snaps right back into professionalism because she is uniquely positioned as the individual who can herd these new associates into the merging firm. She can run the efficiency test. She can figure out who deserves to stay, who has to leave.
Right. Robert Zane is looking into the empty office of Rachel, and Donna also is going to miss her. They're like, oh God, she's
She's not
gone.
here, but her name's still on the window.
Right. Let's get a razor to that window.
Right. They're so fast about putting names up, but so slow to take them down.
What an interesting choice. But it shows Daddy Zane a sweet black and white photo of Mike and Rachel that Rachel left for him. And Robert tells her he's going to be managing partner.
And he's just like, okay, well, I'm going to be managing partner.
Yeah. And she was like, that's pretty bold on your first day. He's like, I've been making bold moves all my life. I'm not going to stop now. Which,
It's true.
why
Good for
not
him.
change your personal brand?
No. Then we see the opening credits sequence and hear our favorite song. A greenback boogie.
Did you
New
notice?
sequence.
Yeah.
Looks very Suits LA.
It does look very seasonal. I was wondering if you would notice that.
Yes.
So I knew that was coming.
Yeah. Well,
had to
you
shake
said
it
something like, you were like, this credit sequence for Suits LA now looks really Suits. And in my head, I was like, it doesn't though, because there's not Mike and Harvey meeting and walking towards the camera. That's the Suits opening credit sequence that I've known until right now.
I think it's because I had just skipped ahead and seen this, but also this is what I remember.
Yeah. Yes.
A recency bias, if you will.
Recency bias. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. I'm going to try not to have that.
Thank you.
Okay. Lewis leads the name partner meeting with suggestions of who drops which client. Then Lewis realizes that they could possibly keep their top clients if they just drop one aspect of their business. It's a race to see who is the better lawyer.
Who's going to get their client to drop something, manufacturing or something.
Yeah.
Then Donna goes and tells Harvey not to go after Zane's client. She's like, I overheard everything that was going on in the intercom because I installed an intercom in the conference room.
Okay. This is shady AF.
You should not do that because this is a law firm and there should be attorney-client privilege.
Yes.
Harvey should have actually told her she cannot do that.
Yeah.
But she's like, I've been listening to your conversation forever, like since you were an associate. It's like, Donna, you're in a different...
Gets literally away with everything.
You're in a different role, Donna. Anyway, she says, like, even though he thinks this is going to be fun, he does not need to pick a fight with Robert Zane. This means that Harvey's going to have to find someone to do it for him.
Mm-hmm. Harvey goes to tell Alex that he needs to earn his name on the door by getting Zane's biggest client to sell his manufacturing, and this will determine who runs the firm.
Which Alex has a stake in because he wants to be buddied up with the managing partner to get his name on the wall. Mm-hmm. So then Zane walks through the boxing gym. He's doing the same thing Harvey is, but he goes to see Katherine Heigl, who is named Samantha, who is a blonde Samantha, not to be confused with one of the many brunettes on the Suits LA.
Also named Samantha.
Mm-hmm. Samantha's boxing in the ring, and he's like, hey, I need you to come into the new office. Like, when are you going to come in? Anytime soon? And she's like, listen, I won't let you down. Yeah. He goes, yeah, you don't usually let me down.
Right. You know that I was supposed to be named Samantha?
Weird. Samantha, Amanda, you are Katherine Heigl.
And what's interesting is that I once took a celebrity face doppelganger thing where I let the internet scan my face
And steal all of your information.
and steal everything about me and let them tell me who I look like.
And it's Katherine Heigl.
And 97% Katherine Heigl.
I could see that.
Really?
Yeah. You have the same eyes, same face shape.
To be fair, the picture that they showed me plus the picture of me, I was like, well, oh, snap.
You're the brunette Katherine Heigl.
Uh-huh.
It's incredible. Okay, so then we see the blonde Samantha. She goes to meet with Harvey Specter's client, but Alex has already warned this client that Sam was going to come visit.
Right.
And she tells him, like, listen. So he's like walking away. He's like, I'm not even going to listen to you. And she goes, I grew up poor. And he stops in his tracks and he turns around and he's like, I'm listening, basically, because all you have to do is say, I grew up poor.
Well, because he also grew up poor.
Because he grew up poor. Right. And she gives this story that's so similar to his. And he's like, okay, I'm willing to hear you out, but I'm definitely not dropping my business.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Funny. If you say I'm willing to hear you out, then there is a chance you'll drop your business.
And guess what? There is a chance.
There is a chance.
Alex is like, oh, Harvey, I totally got it all fixed. It's all in the bag. And then, meanwhile, Samantha's like, oops, actually, I intercepted all your hard work. And he is going to drop his business. She also says this while she's in Harvey's office. So she drops this news sitting in his space. And then she goes, you two have a nice, I don't mean it. And she just walks off.
She doesn't mean it.
What a badass.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Harvey. He goes to pick a fight in his own weight class with Robert Zane. Robert says his issue is that Harvey isn't a coach. He's got to get in the ring. And Harvey says he's going to stay out and reminds Robert that he is still the managing partner.
This is, I think, really good feedback from Robert Zane. Because Harvey does like to do. He's a doer. But he doesn't really trust a lot of people to do things. And he has a very specific way he wants things done.
And the better thing would have been to say, what would you do here?
To Alex.
Right. What would you do here?
Instead of being like, I'm going to go fix your problems.
Tell me what, like, unless you, like, somebody has to jump in immediately. Like, it's true to say, like, hey, what would you do here? What would you do in my situation? How would you do this?
One of my best managers ever used to, like, when things were going really wrong, he would say, do you want to walk me through how you're going to fix this? Or do you want me to tell you what I would do to fix this?
Yeah.
And I really liked that because sometimes I was like, I just want to know what to do.
Yeah.
And other times I was like, no, let me think through what I would do and talk to you with it.
And once they talk through it,
you can find...
Unless somebody's bleeding, you know, on the floor, the building's on fire.
Yeah. This is totally... Harvey snatched this away because Harvey wants to do it. He does not want Alex to do it. No. So then Alex runs his plan by Lewis. And Lewis says, hey, this is actually a really good plan. So Lewis also tells him, like, and by the way, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
We're cool, and I'll back you as named partner.
Yeah.
Lewis has shown so much growth.
But then he'll not. He'll show growth, and then he won't.
Yeah, but I think, honestly, in these 2 episodes, I saw a lot of growth from Lewis Litt.
For sure. Donna tells Harvey about the contractor for sale, and Harvey thinks Alex is not on top of it, and he's not going to sit on the sidelines, and Donna tries to talk him out of it by bringing up Mike.
Yeah, she's like, maybe you're overcompensating. And he's like, I don't care if I am. She goes, fine, do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
She tries to tell him not to, but he's not listening.
No.
So Alex confronts Harvey on the street because Harvey, of course, went to the judge and fixed this problem. And Alex is like, it was a setback, but I was going to take care of it. And I don't appreciate you doing that. And Harvey says, listen, this woman's no joke. And Alex is like, oh, so you think I am? And Harvey doesn't really answer that question. He just says he's going to be taking it from there.
Yeah.
Which is a slap in the face.
Big time. Samantha confronts Harvey about allowing fabricated testimony to stop her motion. The only person she answers to is Robert Zane. And Harvey's like, don't you walk away from me.
And she totally just walks away from him.
Yeah. And then Harvey confronts Robert about calling off his lost dog. But Robert reminds him that he broke his word and showed the entire firm only one of them is managing partner material. And Daddy Zane is daddying.
Yeah.
That's what you wrote.
Harvey walked right into this trap.
Yes. He did.
He was like, no, I'm not going to get involved, and then immediately got involved. So Robert Zane's going to be managing partner.
Yeah.
And Harvey does not take this well.
No.
He goes and yells at Donna and says that this is her fault.
No, he's misdirecting this anger.
Yeah,
he's embarrassed and he's directing it at somebody else.
Exactly. And she says, you've been the top of the mountain, but you're getting tired of sitting up there and enjoying the view, so maybe this is the right thing, you know?
Get kicked back down a little bit.
Yeah, and also that's where you actually like to play. It's not fun to be the managing partner. It's fun to be the problem solver and the creative person. The person doesn't have to make these other decisions.
Yeah, for him, right? Jessica was really good at being a managing partner.
Jessica's really great at it, and also she walked away from it too because I think that's heavy as the crown.
Oh, heavy as the head.
Heavy is the head.
that wears the crown.
Heavy is the crown on the head.
You're right. The crown is actually just
The
heavy.
crown is the heavy part. The head
true.
isn't. The head isn't heavy.
I think Heavy is the Crown is the name of this episode.
Heavy is the crown.
Yeah.
Robert Zane though loves the crown.
Oh, man,
and he's got
like,
a
bring
good,
it on. I don't care how heavy that is.
He's got a good strong head.
He does have a strong head. I bet he wears he has like a larger head when you have to order a cap.
Yes.
Because it can support such a heavy crown.
Such a heavy crown. Exactly. He's been doing crown lifts.
Yeah. So Harvey is in Zane's office saying things were simpler when he was in this office.
This is his old office, Mike's old office.
He's there to admit that Zane is right, and Zane appreciates it. His first humble request is he wants his office back. And he's like, we're going to grab burgers another time. Zane has something he has to go take care of first.
They always have to take care of
They
something
also
first.
not as much as they do in Suits LA, where they're like, this thing happened. And they won't tell you. Like,
yes.
They do have to go take care of things.
But we see it immediately, like the next scene.
And they don't call or text. They do go on foot.
Yes.
To take care of things.
Yes,
Everything is taken care of on foot.
So Harvey is then in his office, his old office, or maybe his new office. I don't remember. But so is Samantha. She's there to tell him that they're more similar than they are different because they both grew up in Riverside. And Harvey's like, that's interesting because you told my client that you grew up on a farm and there's no farms in Riverside. She goes, well, that's great because there's 3 types of people. People who won't even notice when I tell a fib like that. People who notice and won't say anything, who are even less of my concern.
Right.
And people who notice and confront me about it. So you're my kind of guy. While she's saying this, she's flicking him off.
Yes.
And then he flicks her off too.
Yeah. They're really bold here in season 8.
Yeah, they're saying, fuck you.
Yeah.
Flicking off.
Well, it's because it's like a USA original. Like they kept putting that on there. I think there was like the way the ownership, not that it wasn't always a USA show, but I think that the reins were loosened back then. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Lewis sees Alex in the copy room at 10 p.m. He's preparing for a fight with Samantha. And Lewis tells him to make a friend. He reminds him that Lewis and Harvey are both on his side. And then if he gets to know Robert Zane, maybe over golf, then he might get the trifecta of likeness, you know?
Yeah, look at Lewis. He's like he's Rachel Zane right now.
He is.
Just being
He's somebody
just
who has
be
filled that void.
friends. Samantha, meanwhile, goes to see Robert in the managing partner office and just pours herself a drink.
Yeah.
Helps herself. She wants more. She wants to be named partner, and she wants it before the year is out, which is going to be a conundrum.
And he says, or else. And she goes, I want it before the year's out. Like, she doesn't tell him what's going to be the or else.
Yeah, but she knows where all the bodies are buried.
She does.
Okay, here we are. Other storyline that's happening in this first episode of season 8 is Katrina has some big girl panties on, and she wants to fight. She wants to be in charge of firing and hiring and all of this. So she's like pacing in Lewis's office. She's already evaluated all 50 associates. And Lewis is like, that's incredible. Like, how'd you do it so fast? Basically, she used AI.
Right.
She used this formula. It's completely unbiased. She's got the top 10 worst people
Yes.
that need to get let go.
Yes.
And she wants to do the firing because Ned Starr once said he who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
I agree. It's also, speaking from experience, it is character building and humbling
To have to fire someone.
to have to fire somebody. So obviously at DCH, you know, when we had to fire people, I think I did all of that. I don't know if anybody else did that. I can't remember.
No, I don't think I ever fired anyone.
I don't know if you ever did. I don't remember. And then at my current role, I've fired probably over 100 people. So it's tough. There's never one that makes it easier.
No.
You get better at it, but it doesn't get easier.
Right.
Because there's still a human behind that, even if they really fucked up.
Yeah.
It sucks because, like, maybe they've got other things. Like, there's just so many factors that go into it, but you still also have to let them go.
Yes.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough when they don't see it coming.
You want people to do well. That's why you hire them.
All right, Katrina presents Donna with the lowest performing associates, but there is a problem. And Katrina is not going to tell Lewis about the first name on the list. It's Brian Altman, and she won't change the objective metric. And then Lewis comes in and tells her she needs to find a way to keep him. Like,
Yeah, he's like that. You cannot fire Brian Altman.
Yeah.
He's held Brian Altman's baby.
I know.
They've
Yeah.
been through it together.
Yeah.
Brian Altman has the zhuzhing. I don't know if that's the right use
Yeah.
of the word.
it's okay. It is now.
Okay, great. So Brian Altman is then telling Katrina all of these stories. They're at a restaurant, and he's like, oh, I was feeding the baby, and then there were peas everywhere. And she goes, that's gross. And she's like, does being a parent make you more efficient? And he goes, oh, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm all over the place. He is completely not answering her questions right. And then he has this realization. He's like, wait a second, am I getting fired? And she goes, well, no, we're just having a conversation. But he knows, and he knows that she's this robot, and he calls her as much. And so she does fire him, and she storms out of the restaurant.
Brian confronts Lewis about getting fired, and Lewis tells him he told Katrina to find a way to keep him, but Brian says she fired him anyway, so he's going to spend the next 2 days getting his files in order because he does care about the company. And Lewis then marches in to yell at Katrina about firing Brian, but Katrina says there's no way to slice it. Brian is not cutting it.
Yeah. It's interesting that he gets 2 days to kind of get his files together.
It's crazy because
You need to be like marched out when you get fired.
we give you 30 minutes to get everything off your computer, and then we cut your access.
Yeah, right. Katrina is then sitting in the pit and she's just grieving all of the unjust decisions, like that she can't fire Brian, even though he clearly is the lowest performer. And Donna kind of comforts her and reminds her that some people get kept around for great stats, but other people have this unknown that makes other people better. Because the top 5 associates all sit right around Brian.
Yes.
And it's not like he's the weakest. He brings something out in them that makes them better.
Yes.
Just like Donna happens to bring out the best in other people, even though she's not an attorney.
Right.
And just like Katrina is the overworked top performer and was resentful that Lewis wasn't acknowledging that effort.
Right. Katrina's brewing some coffee in the break room for her and Brian, and she says she was wrong about him and she didn't take into account intangibles, but Brian is not going to help her figure that out and fire his fellow associates. He's like, I'm not going to be a part of it. And I was like, I get that, but dude, eventually, if you want to keep climbing, you're going to have to do that.
Yes. He just feels it's kind of too soon, too raw.
It's a real, it's an open wound.
An open wound. And that's
he doesn't
just
have room for salt.
Yeah, exactly. So then he's sitting in the library and Donna comes in and she goes, we were right about you. And he says, yeah, well, you're the one who told Katrina to keep me on and ask me to help her. Like they both kind of have that people skill that's a little different than what Katrina has, right? Yeah. Very different side of the brain.
Yeah.
But Donna tells him, hey, you can either help Katrina figure out who to keep and who to fire, or you can let her do it on your own and know that she might make the same mistake she made with you.
Yeah. Katrina is struggling with the firings. She starts with Bridget, who immediately asks, am I getting fired? She has a ton of student debt and higher rent, and she had promised to pay for her nephew's daycare so her sister could go back to school.
It's a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah. She wants a second chance, but the decision has already been made. I will say this is how you handle it when they try to plead their case, because it's not hey, we think we should fire you, try and sell us otherwise. The decision's already been made. The paperwork's ready to go. You've already talked to the attorneys, or in this case themselves, right?
Yes.
She handled it well with very few words.
Right. Yeah, you don't say too much.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it, and it just sucks, though.
Yeah, because you feel like a robot.
Watching this one, I was like,
I know.
This one hit.
But hopefully she can get a job at another firm.
Yeah.
But that's like the thing with like Meta just fired people and said they're the lowest performers, which looks like a scarlet letter on all of those employees. And it's like, that's not necessarily true. Like, what are you measuring by? Also, like, was I in a department that was lower performing? Like, there's ways.
Yeah.
You shouldn't let people go being like, you're not a top performer. It's like, you're not a fit. Because they could be a top performer somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I won't go into how we do it, but...
No, you shouldn't. But I think it like the idea of marking people as like you're being fired because you are a low performer is not right for them moving forward.
Yeah.
Because those are all like top law school graduates and another firm would be happy to have them.
Like a low performer at Meta.
Right, exactly.
Right? Like
yes.
It's not an easy job to get.
No. So like, you know, give them some grace.
Yeah. Katrina tells Donna it was not easy firing those people. Donna asks if Brian helped with the list and also tells Katrina that firing people sucks. She's like, I know, I've done it. They decide they're going to go grab drinks together, but first, Daddy Zane comes to see Donna. He has heard a lot about the mighty Donna Paulson, and Robert Lucas Zane is going to be managing partner.
Yeah, and they kind of get along.
Yeah.
They have a nice little moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that wraps episode 1.
Yeah, and then we get into pecking order.
Peck.
Before the credits, Maggie, kick us off.
Before the credits. Lewis is getting ready for work, and he looks very clean shaven. And then he's coming down the stairs doing his tie, all this.
Dude,
he goes
he's
down,
doing like a whole
routine.
Dig it a dance.
He's like, look at me. I'm Lewis Lit.
Yeah.
I'm getting laid by Sheila Says. He goes downstairs, and Sheila has a whole spread, a power breakfast on the table. And he's like, you know, I normally just eat Raisin Bran. She goes, no, but this is the day you take over the firm. Yeah. This is the day you become managing partner because you are a king and they should all be kissing the ring. Yeah. She gives him she's like, you go fight for that position that you want.
It's weird because like he had said he wanted it, but it wasn't like, it's almost like she's forcing this.
Oh, for sure.
It's a little much for me to watch.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's hard.
You're putting a lot of pressure Whether it's husband and wife, a husband, a wife, and a wife, whatever the like partnership is, to be like, you go do this and go, like when they're not waking up that day being like
Thinking that's what they're going to do.
yeah, like I think he was kind of, but not like.
But he wasn't, because he was like
He'd
totally
kind of like,
fine.
yeah, he'd actually kind of been like, I'm okay with it. Like she's put this pressure on him, and then he's like, now I got to go out and like be a man and do this thing for her.
And she thinks she's gassing him up, that this is what he wanted and he was going to be
She's
doing
not
this
gassing him
anyways.
up, though.
No,
It's
she's
a
like,
false sense of gas, which we've all been there.
we've all been. This
We've all
is
had a
gas
false,
pain.
We've all had a false sense of gas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Zane then enters through the elevator and he sees his name on the wall, and it's Zane, Spectre, lit, not alphabetical, reverse alphabetical.
Yeah.
Lit is definitely last.
Yeah.
He is ready to sign on the dotting line. Harvey's already signed for it. He's going to be named main partner by the end of he's going to be managing partner, I'm sorry. He is going to be managing partner by the end of the day. Then, while they're meeting, this guy comes in named Max. He's with Podspace. He was Mike's old client. And he's like, hey, we raised $100 million to launch this company, but I can only find $50 million of it. Which is half. That's 50%, which means half of it's missing. And he's sure that his partner Nick did not embezzle it. So Harvey says, okay, well, don't talk to Nick. Don't tell him you came here.
Yeah.
And Robert says, hey, one of those two kids is guilty, just so you know. And Harvey says, you handle your clients, I'll handle mine.
Yeah. Quick depo for you. What's the largest amount of money that you couldn't account for? Don't say 50 million.
Well, I've never seen $50 million.
Okay.
Okay, just recently, Kyle went through and checked all of these Home Depot gift cards. He checked them all. And we had like $800 in gift cards.
From what?
From when we got married.
Are they still good?
Yeah.
Why
So
did,
we've
were
been
you just
using
going to
them.
use them because you needed them for the house?
We used them to put a new rug in, and I thought we used all of them, but we still had $800 left. Okay, I took them to go buy some things. Cannot find them.
Wait. You can't find the Home Depot cards that he just went through?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Not in my purse, not in the car.
Is he going to be finding that out right now?
No, he's found it out because I came home and immediately tried to put them back in the spot where they were, and I couldn't find them.
They're going to turn up.
I think they will. That's what I keep telling myself.
Okay.
Anyways, just even telling this story makes my stomach turn.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. How about you? What's the largest amount of money you couldn't account for, Amanda?
Well, I don't do this, and some people do this intentionally, and I don't do it. But the money in the coats every season.
Oh.
You know how, like, you
people
hear
do
about
it intentionally?
Yeah, I have friends who like I used to have a couple of friends whose mothers used to do this, where they would stick $20 or $100 in a coat pocket at the end of the season.
Oh my God.
And forget. Of course, me, I'd be like, no, I need lipstick.
Give me
And I
the
would run
money.
back. I'd be like, where's that winter coat in the middle of July? But this happens a lot. I not really like unaccounted for. This is actually kind of hilarious. I do have $800 I can't find.
800 too?
Yeah, I have 800 that I got
In
out.
Home Depot gift cards?
No, it's in cash. By the time this airs, I will have found it. Don't come to my house. I know
It might not even be in the house.
No, I know where it. I have like two areas where I know where it is. I got money out to pay because I was having some work done by my handyman, and he usually wants cash.
Right, of course.
But he ended up needing supplies beforehand, and so I Venmo'd him money for the supplies before he came out, and then I was gone when he finished. I know if you're listening, you're like, oh my gosh, your handyman's going to run. I'm like, no, he's not going to run with the money. But I do give him the money up front for supplies, pays for the labor at the end. So I'd already gotten the money out to finish this project, and which was right at $800. And I ended up Venmoing them all. So now I have $800. It's sitting in a bank envelope. Like I went into the bank to get it because I never have cash on me anymore.
And you can't get it out of an ATM.
No, I mean maybe I can. I think my limit's like 1,000 or something like that.
Out of the ATM though?
Or
I thought
maybe
ATMs only do like up
500
to
or
600
something. I
or
don't know.
something.
Yeah. Anyways, it's around here. I haven't.
Gosh, how weird that we both
have
lost
$800.
$800.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna text you a picture of it and be like, found it.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Tony, come around. Something's lost and must be found.
Tony, come around. Something's lost and must be found.
Thank you, St. Anthony, for listening to the pod and being a subscriber.
Oh my God, that felt so Catholic.
I mean, in honor of the Pope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Really?
Oh my God. I'm going to do that several times a day.
You're a changed woman. I can see it. St. Anthony is blessing over you. He's watching over you and helping you find that $800.
Oh my gosh. I just set it in my brain again so I could remember it.
Yeah. If you ever need it, you can text me.
What if I've lost my phone?
Yeah. Then just Tony, please help.
That's something that I actually don't like. Phone and keys, I always like.
Can find.
Wallet, keys, phone. Like, that's always a thing. But I have friends who have, like, by their door, wallet, keys, phone. Like, so they don't forget. I'm like, purse.
I never bring I don't like to bring my purse.
Yeah, you don't
around.
like to bring a purse.
But all my stuff's on my phone. Like, I can just pay on my phone.
I know. But there's been times where I'm like, oh, that's a cute purse. I would get that for her. But I'm like, I don't think she'd carry it.
I don't really carry it.
Good. So you don't want a cute purse.
I like cute purses. I have several.
You do have some really cute purses.
I just leave them in my closet.
Yeah.
I use them when I have, like, an event.
Yeah.
I
love a purse. Okay.
Okay, here we go. You know what I hate is that they slide off my shoulders. I hate that.
I just love them as like a fun statement piece, an accessory, you know, and you can just have a very small wardrobe and then a couple of handful of like really cool bags.
It's true.
And
Jazzes it up.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going. We're real behind.
Anyways, before the credits, Zane then tells Samantha to look into pod space because Harvey's going to need her help. And her hair and jacket as she's walking in are asymmetrical. She's got one collar up and the hair slicked back and the other collar down and the hair down.
It's to make you think.
Yeah. It is. It makes you think.
Things that make you go,
Because she's like, who is she? She Jekyll or Hyde.
Right. And that comes to the first storyline here, which is, who is Samantha Wheeler?
Who is she?
Yeah. Donna sees Samantha in her office. Samantha asks her to sign off on an expense account request that is 3 times larger than anyone else, and she can't sign off on it. She authorizes half of it, and Samantha thinks this is about establishing a pecking order, and Donna says a really cool thing where she goes, that's not true, but if that's what you think, it says a whole lot more about you than it does about me.
Absolutely, Donna.
Yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Harvey then goes to see Nick from Podspace, and Harvey says someone is ready to take on their business. They just have to make it public. But Nick's hesitant to do that. And then in walks Samantha Wheeler with $500,000 in unmarked bills.
Dude.
In a suitcase saying, like, yeah, just give us your books, and then you can have $500,000.
It's basically like, you know, we got the new kid coming in with a briefcase full of green stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Was some dime bags full of weed, and now it's $500,000.
Yeah, she's just a little more elevated.
She is a little more elevated.
Harvey's so mad at her
Yes.
for coming in and interrupting his meeting. And he's like, you derailed the meeting. And she goes, he was never going to give you his books, right? And also he didn't take the cash, which feels like maybe he's not an embezzler, so we need to keep looking. But she does not want to be getting off on a bad foot with him. And Harvey says, well, then you need to have some respect for the chain of command.
Yeah. Harvey updates Donna on the Samantha situation, and Donna says that she went over both of their heads to Robert to get triple the expense account. Donna suggests extending the olive branch to keep the new senior partner that they don't know anything about, like, really close, like keep your enemies closer. And she still goes digging, and she's going to go digging in her medicine cabinet. So this is my depo for you. When you go into people's houses, like at a party or whatever, do you look in their medicine cabinet?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Do you go look in their drawers?
No.
Okay.
But I heard once that people do, like, keep Coke in their bathroom drawers for when they have parties, and people do Coke in bathrooms. Did you know that?
I've never heard that. I also didn't know what a dime bag of weed was, so you're barking up the wrong drug.
I mean, I don't even want to see that. I don't want to know that about anyone.
I don't either.
No, I don't open drawers.
I don't either.
Even if, like, it's like, oh, if I needed to find toilet paper, I might.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't open drawers or a medicine cabinet for that.
I don't either. I did at an open house the other day open these 2 mirrors. I was in this house that was probably one of the coolest houses I've ever been in my entire life, and especially in Dallas. And it is a smaller space, and they were so thoughtful about the storage, and they had one of those medicine cabinets that was built into the wall.
Love it.
Right? Not mounted on top, but was cut into the 2x4s, and then they had a mirror on a hinge to cover it. And so I was like, I looked at it, I was like, I bet this is a medicine cabinet, because I was like,
looking for storage.
Looking at how they had everything stored.
Yeah.
And it was. So.
Yeah. I love a house that's unique.
It's the most unique.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are then, and we are back.
Yes.
Donna goes in to check with Gretchen about Samantha because her stories just aren't adding up. There's too many of these false stories Samantha has told.
Yeah.
And Gretchen has a much larger network. So Gretchen's like, I'm going to get the answers. And then Donna asks Gretchen if they should do like a high five or a handshake. And Gretchen's like, no.
And this is 2 weeks in a row we've talked about handshakes.
I know.
Had it on Suits LA.
Suits LA and in the women's bathroom of Spectre Lit.
Timing is kismet.
I'm glad we see Gretchen. It's a very small
Yeah, we hadn't seen her in a bit.
window, but she wasn't in the first episode.
Yeah. Harvey visits Samantha in her office, and he does say, I'm not big on apologies, but I am going to invite you to work on this case with me, which she has actually never stopped working on.
Even though he told her to back the fuck off.
She says Nick is clean. They realize they never got the first $50 million. And Harvey wants to go to Max first thing in the morning, even though Samantha thinks they should go to Nick. So basically what happened is Nick faked that they had $50 million to get the second $50 million, and he defrauded their investors because there was never another $50 million.
So it's not embezzlement, it's defrauding.
Yeah. The other thing is, if I'm investing in a company and it's whether it's one check of $50 million or I'm one of many that are investing to get to that additional $50 million, I need to see what you've done up until that point. I'm going to ask to see that.
Yeah, but these people have so much money. They're just like, sure.
Yeah, I know.
I guess they trust him.
It's not like the $800 worth of gift cards and cash.
Yeah.
Around,
So then Max, they go to see Max, Samantha, and Harvey. And he's like, well, we need to tell all the investors. And I need to go to the police because good guys go to the police. And Samantha goes, actually, you need to calm down. Mike says, innocent people go to the police, but Harvey says that will just make you look like you're running scared. So Harvey says, just trust the process. Trust me. It's going to take 3 days. But just hang tight for 3 days, Max, with this information. And then they're in the car, and Samantha's like, there's the other option. We could just replace the $50 million with a real investment. And Harvey goes like, well, that's not right. And she goes, what you're saying is not right either.
Yeah, it's pick your fraud. Pick your poison, Donna shares a piece of paper with Harvey. It makes Harvey super pissed, and he goes to kick Samantha off the case. Max is leaving the company. Her philosophy is protect the company instead of protect the client, and Harvey threatens to fire her.
Yeah, she convinced Max to step down. But Harvey thinks it was like a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
So that she could do her plan.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Daddy Zane comes in to tell Samantha, like, hey, what are you doing? He wanted her to help Harvey, not piss him off. And he wants to show Harvey what he sees in her, that she will never let him down, that she has the best interest of the firm at heart.
Gretchen and Katrina are meeting with Donna in the file room for a secret meeting.
It's so secret. They're like hiding behind the
I love that
files.
these three are back there.
I love it too.
And they're meeting about Samantha. And Katrina says when the chips are down, you want her in your corner.
And it depends on whose corner she's in if Harvey and Zane are working together.
Yeah. Then Samantha goes to see Harvey in his office. She explains how she got Max to step down. She presents an alternative way to make sure that Nick doesn't do this again. Harvey can take it from here. She just wants to be part of the team.
Yeah. The way she got Max to step down was she found a place for his sister to do cancer treatments. It's a very humane way to agree to do this and kind of save everyone's ass.
Yeah.
So she wasn't a bully or a bull in a china shop.
Right.
Harvey then goes to see Nick about this whole offer that Samantha put together. And he says, well, what's great is that we have IPO plans, and that's why you got this other $50 million, which means that Nick's books are going to be open, and he can never, ever do this again, because then he will go to jail. And he says, well, what happens if I don't do this? And he goes, well, everyone who does this goes to jail, unless you have me, because he's like a guy who can do what I did. You want him to be on your team. Except for he didn't do it. Samantha did it.
Yeah.
He's taking the credit.
Harvey goes to see Robert about Samantha and says, next time that you're worried about my clients, I want you to tell me to my face. That's fair.
That is fair.
Don't do this. Y'all are two grown-ass men who have run law firms. Don't do this.
Yes.
He is starting to see what Zane sees in her. Zane tells Harvey her name needs to go up on that wall next. And before Harvey can talk, Lewis confronts both of them about not being brought in on the conversation.
Yes, which we'll talk about in the next storyline.
Yeah. Why do you have no Robbie?
Because that's what he says to Robert Zane.
Oh, that's right. He does. I thought maybe Robbie had shown up while you were watching it.
No, that would be so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then Harvey is staring at the names on the wall and he's just thinking. And Donna comes and tells Harvey, Samantha's going to be an asset to the team of all the things I found.
Yeah.
And then the only issue is that Zane wants to promote Samantha, and they cannot do that at the same time with Alex because that would dilute both of the promotions. Yeah. So Harvey's like, I'm going to do what Jessica would do. I'm going to go home, I'm going to drink, I'm going to figure out how to get my way.
Yeah. Love that.
Love it.
Louis and Sheila. All right. What cuties.
What cuties. This is nice because we get to see a little crack in it, but they work through it.
Yeah. Louis tries to talk to Harvey about managing partner. He interrupts Louis trying to talk to him, and he is very dismissive.
So Louis doesn't even get to mention that he wants to be managing partner like Sheila wants him to do.
Yeah.
Louis goes to see Sheila Saz, and before he can talk, he is once again getting bulldozed because she interrupts him, and she just assumes that he's managing partner, that he's gotten this job done.
Right.
And she's like, ravage my body. And right before he does it on her desk, he hallucinates and sees Robert and Harvey mocking him, pretending to be managing partner. And Sheila assumes that he can't get it up because of the stress of this new job.
Yeah.
So she's made a very big assumption without giving him any time to talk.
And he didn't correct her.
No.
That's the thing.
I think he was shocked.
Yeah. So he goes to see Dr. Lipschitz for an erection prescription. And he updates him on the whole managing partner issue. Lipschitz says that the issue is not blood flow, it's lying. And why doesn't he just tell Sheila he doesn't want to be managing partner? And he's worried he will lose her. And Lipschitz says true power is admitting the truth of who you are.
Gosh, Lipschitz is so good.
He is so great. Don't we wish we could have had him a little earlier?
Yes. I mean, he's made such great strides. I mean, I guess Louis has had him for years and years and years. But he's finally had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Louis then tells Sheila, listen, I'm not managing partner. But she doesn't believe that he does not want to be managing partner.
Yeah.
He's like, I do not want to be managing partner. This is who I am, and you said you love me. But she will not take that.
No.
So instead, she schedules an appointment with Dr. Lipschitz.
Dude. Go ahead. Keep rolling with this.
Well, Dr. Lipschitz is talking to this patient about her brother who wanted a promotion, but then he was kind of pushed to the side and his goals couldn't be reached because of his mother. And Dr. Lipschitz realizes in this moment that he's not talking to some random patient. He is talking to Sheila Saz.
Yes.
And he says, this is unethical for me to see you without Louis's permission. And Lipschitz says, actually, then they kind of get into it a little bit.
Right.
And she goes, actually, you are the problem, not him in this situation.
Yeah.
Something has replaced his desire to be managing partner. And she goes, oh, having a baby. And he says, no, love. You, Sheila Amanda Saz.
Yes.
You're his goal now, not being managing partner. And she has this like, I kind of loved that. She got
really
to hear that.
From somebody else too.
Yes, from someone who intimately knows Louis.
Who shouldn't have even said that, but I'm sure Dr. Witt has some opinions on it. But I think for the good of the show,
also,
it worked out.
I think he was backed into a corner. No one can be perfect.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was counseling her in that moment. A little piece of free advice, Sheila Amanda Saz.
Yeah. Louis is at his office when Sheila comes a-knocking. She says he has the perfect office and he is the perfect man. And she's sorry. She was more mad that Zane and Harvey didn't hear him out. And now he's worked up.
And now he's got an erection.
Yeah.
And now he's ready to blow this thing up.
Yeah.
So that's when he interrupts Zane and Harvey. And they're talking. And he calls Robert Zane. He goes, no, Robbie. just so cute. How he just yells at them like they're children.
Yeah.
And he says, I will not be a third wheel. I have saved both of your asses. Both of you would not be here without Louis Marlowe Litt.
True.
And so he's like, so I just want you to clock it. And they go, we've clocked it. And when he leaves, Harvey's like, doesn't even mention the Alex thing because he's like, what are we going to do about Louis?
Yeah.
Which for a moment, I have to admit, I was like, oh my God, are they going to try and cut Louis out?
I mean, I can't confirm or deny.
Well, they don't. Because what they decided to do is send him a clock.
Yeah.
And say, we're clocking you.
Yeah.
Which Sheila Amanda Saz presents to him on their mantle with rose petals. And she's wearing her sex gown.
Yeah.
And she wants him to put a baby in her.
Yeah. What an interesting sex gown.
Yeah, it was very Puritan.
Yeah. Also looked like it could be worn to a formal event. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we have this last storyline here. This is
Alex trying to impress Robert Zane.
Yeah. So Robert Zane is struggling with the fancy coffee machine. Alex helps him by pressing a button. And then Alex invites him to golf. Robert tells him either Alex is going to piss him off by being a bad or good golfer. Like there's not going to be a way to win. He's like, the only way to really impress me is with a big fat client.
Give me that big fatty client.
Give me the big fat client.
So Alex goes to ask Katrina for help finding out who he should try to get back to impress Zane, who he should bring over from the Calhoun firm, or the former firm. And the answer is Starbore, which is a client that Robert would like. But Katrina warns him that this client used to be Samantha's and that this could go really bad. Mm-hmm. Alex is not afraid.
No. Alex goes to see Gavin Andrews with Starbore. Gavin offers one case, a personal case, to win his corporate business. Alex has promised to be his guy, and it turns out it's a nasty divorce with a custody battle of a 185-year-old.
Which I was like, a grandma? And I was like, no,
I was
stupid.
like, no, I couldn't remember what it was. I forgot. And then, yeah.
It's a Renoir painting, we find out, because Alex goes to the fancy ballet and confronts Mrs. Andrews, soon to be former Mrs. Andrews, about getting back the Renoir that she lent to the Met.
Yeah.
That's all Gavin Andrews wants back is this fancy painting. She doesn't even care about it. What she wants, and he's like, what would it take? She goes, I want the villa in Boudoir.
Boudoir? Bordeaux.
Boudoir
would be
How did I... Bordeaux, but I spelled it like this.
So Bordeaux, like Bordeaux. Because a boudoir is...
I know. Well, I was like, I'm reading how I typed my notes.
Sexy bedroom pictures.
How I typed it for everyone is B-O-R, Doir. No, wait, Door.
Yeah.
Dior.
It's okay.
D-I-O-R.
It's okay. You could have a boudoir in Bordeaux.
I think that's what she wants it for. She wants the boudoir in Bordeaux.
That's totally what it is. It makes sense. You actually were predicting the future.
I was. That's what she wants to do there, is stay in her boudoir in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to pay taxes on it either.
Same, dude.
Pretty big ask.
Yeah. Samantha tells Alex Gavin Andrews is not worth the trouble.
That's the last scene. He goes, well, I'll make it worth the trouble, basically.
Yeah.
He's not afraid. And she goes, and she says, too, you have a past of getting in a sticky situation and a guy like Gavin Andrews is the kind of guy that will put you in a sticky situation.
Super sticky.
Super sticky.
You know what's sticky sometimes is when you get on a train and they haven't had a chance to clean it out.
Yes.
You're like in coach,
Ugh.
you know? And it just was real messy and there were some kids drinking soda, eating
silly straws.
Silly straws, sticky candies. But I got us tickets in premium economy.
Ooh.
One step up. We couldn't get just straight up coach or straight up first class. We're in premium economy this time, and I'd love to know if you could join me where the seats are clean and the
spirits
seats
are high
underneath our feet are even cleaner.
No sticky situations on our way to Prediction Town.
Choo 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 choo.
That was my feet running off.
I could tell. You were running to get off that train.
I was so excited to get here.
Yeah.
Okay. My first thing is like, geez Louise, are Samantha and Harvey going to hook up? And the reason why I hate this, but also I'm putting it on here, is Paulo's really messed with me. I would never have thought he was going to hook up with Paula, and then he hooked up with Paula. So I'm like, well, here's another blonde woman coming in who they don't get along right away, but are they going to have a moment? I hope not. I hope not.
Okay.
This is a hate prediction.
Okay.
Lewis and Sheila, I think, are going to actually struggle with fertility because I think that they both want it really badly now, and I think that it could be an entire episode where Lewis is talking extensively about his swimmers, and he kind of spirals, like maybe he's got an issue, a fertility issue.
Okay.
I think Alex signing Gavin Andrews is not going to be good. I think it is actually going to be very, very bad. I think it's been foreshadowed, and I think Harvey is going to have to bail him out.
Okay.
It's going to hardball, like hardball.
Yeah.
Is what I was thinking.
Okay.
And then I think Alex will leave and start a different firm. I think he's not good under the shadow of Harvey, you know?
Yeah.
And if Samantha gets named, so what? He's just going to keep waiting for
Harvey.
kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
And it's like he's already told Harvey, like, you've let me down before. You cannot let me down again.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction for season 8, episode 3 and 4.
Strong predictions.
Thank you.
Can't confirm or deny, but strong predictions.
Thank you.
Well, 2 more seasons. This is it.
I can't believe it.
I know. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know how to start your review, you could say, the crown is heavy, but it belongs to these 2 queens.
Oh, oh man, that was, you were sitting on that like the whole time.
No, just came up with it. Just came.
Yeah.
I was like, what have we talked about? What have we talked about?
Holy shit, Maggie.
Thank you.
You get smarter and smarter every day. Weak high five. Okay, that's 55 minutes.